everybody. I'm just going to jump into this video. I'm filming late in the day. Hopefully the lighting looks good. The reason I'm filming late in the day is I just got out of the hospital. Nothing bad. They're just trying to figure out what's going on with my stomach, but that's part of life when you get older. Unfortunately, I'm almost 40. I don't know if I look it, but these are things you have to deal with when you start hitting certain ages. So I'm filming late in the day and I wanted to make sure I finished this video so I had some quality content for you on Thursday. I made a promise to my subscribers that I'm always going to have new content on Mondays and Thursdays, and I always like to deliver, and I want to give you the best that I can. I don't just want to put anything out. I don't like running my channel that way. I truly care about what you guys think, and I truly care about the product I put out. So what I'm going to be talking about today is the header that I installed on the 99 through 05 Jetta. Specifically, it was a 2003 Jetta. You guys have been following the build series. I believe this will be episode number 8. So I'm going to try something new. The header I installed, which looks like this, I would have chosen a different one, and I want to try putting those images above my finger. Hopefully this works out. I would have gone out and bought this header, or I would have gone out and bought this header. Specifically, somebody makes a cast iron header. I would have gone with that header knowing what I was in store for putting in the one that I'm going to do in this video. It was a nightmare. Before you do any header install or any turbo install on a Jetta, make sure you use high temperature Loctite on all of your bolts. I learned my lesson. Down the road, after I put the turbo in, what started happening is the bolts loosened up from the heat and the vibrations helped them vibrate out, and the turbo actually came off the manifold, and those things were tight. I tightened them up. I drove the car for a couple more days. They came loose again. Because the manifold is stainless and because of the design, it's almost impossible to keep them tight. However, if you have a better manifold like I pictured, you get better access to those bolts, much easier to keep them tight, and much quicker if you have to maintenance the car. Had I known what I know today, that's what I would have shown you guys to buy in the first video I put up. Unfortunately, if you watched the first video, I did explain that I had no idea what to buy because the information was hard to find, which is why I'm doing a video series. So the footage that I have for you is from a couple months ago. I started doing this car in the middle of winter. It's actually still on my property, but it's so windy today I didn't want to talk outside and have the car behind me, which I would normally do. I've been driving the car around for a couple weeks now. I don't have any issues now because I worked all the bugs out, which is why I took video footage of everything I'm doing so you guys can see the process. I also wanted to go over some of the other stuff. Like on Monday, you saw that I was doing a welding video, and I want to know how you guys feel about having different things on the channel. I have subscribers that come from the Corvette world, the Jetta world, welding and fabrication world, the Chevy SS, Miatas. So I want to know if you like having variety or if you want me to specifically focus on one car. Like for example, you'll see over here, that's another welder. On Monday, you guys saw that I tried this welder. I got another welder because I'm spending the money to figure out how to do budget aluminum welding so none of my subscribers have to. And I want to know what you guys think of those videos. And yes, I'm putting it in before a Jetta video, but it's because I want continuity between my channel. On Monday, I posted a welding video. This Thursday, when you see this video, you're going to see this video, and then in the next video, I'll probably talk about what happened in this video, which I'm still trying to figure out what I want to post on Monday for you guys, but you influence me the same way I influence you. So the more feedback I get, it tells me what direction to bring the channel in. So I really appreciate everything. What I'm going to do now is I want to stop here, and then I'm going to play the footage of me putting that header in. It was a nightmare, and hopefully this video will help save you from going down that path. And hopefully what I'm showing you today will point you in a better direction. I'm trying to keep the quality up on these videos. I don't just want to post anything. I want quality behind my videos, especially if someone's using my video to do something on their own car. So thank you again, everybody, and I'm going to play this footage for you now. Wait a minute, I almost forgot. What did you guys think about the 1200 horsepower Z06 I posted over the weekend? I made the video for East Coast Supercharging. I love the way it came out, and if you guys want to see more of stuff like that, please let me know. I enjoy it, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. I just need your feedback. It's really important. I do everything based on what you guys say. Okay, now I'll play that video for you. Sorry. Okay, gasket feels nice and flush now. Alright, gasket's in place, it feels flush. Now I'm going to drop the header in place. Something's holding this header up, but I wonder if it's just because it probably needs to slide back flush on all of the studs in one shot. That is not flush. Something is up with this header. I have 2 or 3 of the bolts tightened down, and it just doesn't seem like it's sitting flush. Something's in the way. Oh, it's actually hitting the bottom of the head. Alright, it's all clear. Now I need to get this out of here. Okay, so the problem that I'm having is the top of this header is actually hitting the head. What I want to do is grind down some of these tabs to allow this to clear. Let me look at the original one. So if you look at the original exhaust manifold and you line up the holes, there's actually a lot of extra material above that header. I just want to try and grind it down. Okay, so what I've been doing is, if you look at this cutout or shape, I've been grinding flatter. Each one of these are going to get chamfered and grinded down low enough. The problem is this is actually hitting the head because the way they did their flange isn't shaped like the OEM manifold. So what I'm going to do is continue grinding. I'm going to test fit it in the car, and if it fits, then I can go ahead and install this. I don't know if you're going to go through this with every header you put in, but I have a feeling that a lot of header companies use one flange and then make their own runners. So probably if I research this online, there might be a bunch of people having the same problem. Okay, so this time around, I'm really hoping that since I clearanced the header, that it will now sit flush. Oh, it feels like it already did. Now, every one of the nuts that go on this header have a thick washer. The other day I went and I found all of them so I can make sure they're all put back on here. So 10 millimeter is not the size of these bolts. It's 12 millimeter. I just had to swap out one of them. Okay, so the final thing I'm going to be doing today is getting the turbo bolts on. Hopefully that's a good spot for you to see, but they're right here. I need to get 3 of them in place with the gasket. Okay, so it does not look it, but this is actually going to be a hard part. Getting this gasket to stay and then getting all of these bolts in and being able to tighten all of the bolts is going to be a little bit of a nightmare. And the way this header is, it might be hard to even get the bolts in place. I don't know. But here's the first shot. Let me try using a pry bar maybe to tweak it. That's one way. I might be able to get something in there to hold it. That could work. I think just a Phillips head screwdriver will do the trick. Now that worked. If I can get one of the bolts in, it should hopefully keep the turbo where it needs to be. So there's not a lot of room to get the back bolt in. These have a really big head on them. I'm gonna switch one over to one with a smaller head. I have some spare header bolts. Okay, so this is the same thread and diameter, but it has a 10mm bolt head versus a 13mm. And that's gonna help me get this in easier. I could barely get my hand where the bolt needs to be, let alone get the bolt in place. Oh, cool, I got it in. Okay. It's in there, I just don't, let me try getting a 10mm socket on there, see if I can get it to thread in. I don't know how they designed this header. Yes, it does have a way to get bolts in, but it doesn't have any way to get to tighten the bolts. This is an awful design. It was my idea to put the header on this car, and I kind of regret that decision. Oh, maybe if I use a 1/4" socket. So I was thinking maybe if I use a 1/4" drive, I could sneak past the header runners, but I need a short extension. Alright, I'm gonna try and make this work. Yeah, it could. Potentially. So I have a flexible extension. I'm gonna try and get to it with that. At least if I can get it down close enough, I can maybe tighten it from underneath. But at least this way I could drive the bolt in. Unfortunately, I can't put torque on this extension, but I could at least get that down all the way. Alright, I just came up with an idea. This is a drill adapter for 10mm. Actually, it's 13/32, but I can get to the bolt now and be able to get something on here to tighten it up. I hope this works. Oh yeah, it worked. It's working, it's just a pain in the butt. And see, I'm able to tighten this now. I'm almost done. I almost have it. Okay, so this is the final part of the install, and I decided to put you guys in a place where you can see what I'm doing. I just hope it helps kind of a hard location to work in. There's not a lot of space. All right, so you guys saw what I went through. I would never have bought that header if I knew I was gonna have those kinds of problems. I would definitely buy one of the two that I showed you. Actually, I might have even kept the factory manifold. To be honest with you, I've been talking to people about this install and I've been recommending to just use the factory manifold. I will tell you that that header does make the turbo spool up a lot faster, but the amount of issues that I had with it and the amount of issues I've had since I installed it, it just isn't worth it in my opinion. Those other headers may give you the same problems, but getting to the bolts and making repairs are going to be so much easier that I'd rather have you have those headers in the car versus the one I chose. Take cost out of the equation. There's just a certain amount of sanity you need to keep when you're maintaining your own car, and sometimes spending a little bit more is the better path. So, in my opinion, that's the direction I would go in. You guys saw what I had to do. I had to do a lot of grinding. You know, up until a certain point, I had about an hour's worth of footage that I scrapped because I didn't think you guys wanted to see the struggle of me getting it in just to pull it back out and put it back in again. It had to be 4 or 5 times it took for me to take it out, grind, put it back, take it out, grind, put it back. And I had to keep grinding and grinding until the dang thing fit. And now it fits, great, but I had problems since I got it in. Just don't go down that path. And I'm really trying to make sure there's quality behind this build series, because if for some reason this series becomes the videos people watch to do mods to their Jetta, I want to make sure that the information I have in this series is correct. And I don't know if it's correct unless I have someone tell me. I'm searching online for this information, and unfortunately, it's really hard to find the answers. People who know don't answer because they're tired of answering, because people ask these questions every day. People who don't know answer, but they give the wrong information. So when I research other answers, I find that that's incorrect. So I just decided to make this video series to showcase the path I took. I am not a guru, but luckily every time I put a video up, I have gurus contact me, which is why the later videos have better quality information in them. Please keep in touch with me. I need it. I appreciate it. And the reason I want you to keep in touch is so I can get word out to other people who are looking for the same information. Help the community out. That's what the important thing is, and that's what I love about YouTube. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate all the support everyone's giving. I really appreciate all the liking and subscribing, and I enjoy what I do, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as well. Thank you again, and if you need anything, please keep in touch. Have a very nice day.